And what else would you say beyond what you said, the importance of communication in jazz? Of course, when to let someone take over for solo, when to rejoin the group. Do you think that
Yeah.
there are other because what I've heard so far is like, oh, jazz, it makes me think on my feet. It makes me confident in the things I do. What other things, what other elements of jazz do you think do make a real contribution in your overall outlook on music and art in general?
Yeah, like I said earlier, just it's made me more authentic. It's made me think like it's okay, let's do it. I don't want to say it's made me take myself less seriously,
Made you open.
but yeah, it's made me
Openness.
open. Yeah, it just made me take a break from the rules.
Yeah.
With all this sheet music, with all do this, play this note. It's nice to have a little area to just work with yourself, just be creative, you know?
So you're saying jazz
Like-
isn't just like Whiplash, where you
No.
have the crazy guy
Again,
going insane on you?
just to clarify, that's very much saturated.
It's a pretty good movie though.
It's fantastic. No, I recommend anyone to watch that movie, 100%. I think that's a little saturated. They're not wrong, but it's
No, I'm not gonna lie. One of my backup ideas was to write a full movie review on Whiplash.
You can
And
still
then I
do that.
realized, if this does not go well, and I submitted a Whiplash essay, I'm attaching this
Yeah.
one episode as well as part of my submission.
Okay, I feel like the Whiplash review is very much open too. I'll do it with you. But yeah, just it's made me take myself a little less seriously. When there's a bunch of notes on a sheet, it's nice to set that aside and do what you feel, you know?
Wow,
Yeah.
Just maybe life there isn't a score to boss you around, keep you
I
in
like that.
time on pitch. Maybe
Yeah.
life is like jazz. Maybe life is like
Because
we
with this
all are
routine we got,
maybe
yeah.
we all are improvising.
We're okay.
Ooh.
We're getting deep here, huh, Martin? Yeah. Just break away from that routine and just do what you feel. Yeah, that's what
Nice.
jazz is.
And of course, I'm trying to ask the whole common theme of people is
Yep.
people who've been involved in jazz in these kind of what I believe are the formative. I don't want to say years, but I guess I keep borrowing psychology terms, but
Yeah.
the critical period of those who want to do music, are engaging with jazz at this level, So, why do you think that it's important for schools, and educational institutions to be investing in music program, particularly in genres like jazz, like you said that are really attractive to not just people who want to do music, but people who want to, I guess, create music.
Yeah.
Less, I
yeah.
mean, more like people who don't. Sorry, I guess it's hard to say when I'm actually in the room of someone who kind of embodies that.
Yeah.
What I have done with music, which is kind of engage at a surface level, had my time,
Yeah.
but I have moved on since. Why do you think that jazz itself has become so attractive to and so important to people like you who, that I would literally say are musicians? If someone were to walk through this door and say, "Hey Martin, who's this?" I would say, "Oh, that's Edgar, he's a musician," or "Hey, that's Gus, he's a musician." What do you think
No, yeah.
what do you think about jazz is beyond what we know of people who want to do more, what do you think that jazz has to do with making them stay with it for so long?
I really think you have to be immersed in it to truly understand. But the best way I can put it is there's no label. You just gotta feel it. You just gotta be in that moment. You gotta be the musician in order to. You can enjoy a jazz performance as much as you'd like,
Mm-hmm.
but there's something so intimate going on there, Like when words fail, music speaks, and I feel like
Ooh, we're getting all the good
truly-
quotes in.
you truly gotta just you just truly have to have that experience to know why there's people like me who are immersed in this, pastime. It's really hard to explain, but I have trouble kind of fathoming why I'm into it too. I'm like, like out of all things, jazz or music, you know?
Yeah.
But it's given me a lot of joy, and I feel like you just gotta have that experience with it to truly know what it means to someone,
So do you believe, or do you agree that it's important just for the development of not just musicians but just artists in general to have forms of art like jazz in education settings where
Yes.
where I guess it's where you can let the creativity take over, where you can I mean, truly, like, if you were to walk into a middle school jazz program today, no slight on the instructors, but you would not like look in, point at a 7th grader who's doing all he can on that French horn and go, "This guy is expressing himself." As
No,
he plays
you would
in this
not.
band. You wouldn't say like necessarily he's expressing himself. Like, yeah, he's there, he's doing
Yeah.
music. But do you agree that jazz is really that outlet for those creative types? Particularly, I mean, because it seems to me that jazz does allow for that level of like actual expression within it is probably the most accessible like form of that in an education setting.
And
if I'm making any sense here.
Yeah, no, what I will say is the education system works, and like I mentioned last time, it's a crash course, and if you truly want the most out of it, you got to do it outside the classroom. You got to go meet up with your friends at your house and jam. It's a crash course. It's going to help you. It's a YouTube tutorial. The education system helps with dipping your feet in.
It's the introduction.
Yeah, exactly. It's the fundamentals. But if you truly want to dip your feet in and go swimming, you got to step outside the classroom and do it yourself,
Wow, that's really great. So
yeah.
I guess one of our final questions would be, if you were to go like back in time with one lesson to give yourself, you said starting off in high school, if we're going to send you back in time with one more lesson that says you're going to give to yourself, what would that lesson be, for you to going into jazz for the first time? What would you give that lesson, as you go to perform jazz for the first time again?
Just start now. The earlier, the better. And I cannot say that. How do you say? I cannot stress that enough.
Yeah.
Do it now. The sooner, the better.
Wow, so
It's just gonna make things easier for you in the future.
Just get involved early.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. As I've gone through this, and as I've come to understand your background, music is really something that grows in someone.
Yes, 100%. Yes.
So wow, just start now. What's it they say? That old man. What's that? The old proverb of the best time to plant a tree is 20 years ago.
Oh, exactly.
Second best time is now.
Yes, 100%.
You would agree? Yeah. I think that's kind of something that really inspires me with musicians. That type of passion that really grows in someone, or any artist that grows in someone. It's really an inspiring thing to see.
Oh, truly.
That someone can dedicate themselves to something like as otherwise like not abstract or silly, but otherwise that unexpected, that
it's, and I'm gonna be honest, I see people who are super hard, like Tupac. He's a gangster, but it's so crazy how you put your. It's so silly to be in music, like he's making himself vulnerable.
Yeah.
He's over there writing poetry. He's singing over beats. He's rapping over. Music is a very silly and vulnerable thing. And I just want to say that, to others, it doesn't really make sense. It's a Tupac. I look at him, I'm like, dude, you just killed someone like a second ago.
We're getting off the rails.
Okay, this is not jazz related, but I just want to stress that music is silly. It's vulnerable.
Well, music and jazz is silly and vulnerable because it's you, because
Yeah.
it's just
It's your true self. It's just you pouring yourself out there.
that's
Yeah.
a quite a way to think about it.
It's a silly little activity that we engage in.
Yeah.
Some more than others.
I mean, and we've
Yeah.
engaged in it for what? Humans been making music for how many thousands of years?
Yeah, and we still have the same 12 notes. The same 12 notes in all of music since then. Like,
Wow.
yeah. Yeah, I
Same
know. I mean
12
there's more notes on the piano, but there's only 12 notes in music. I hope you know that.
Wow.
So those notes have been bouncing around the universe for
I know. At one point, they
Yeah.
became jazz and at one-
classical and
classical
yeah.
and everything else. Every
Yeah.
other way we express ourselves. I guess because of. I'm almost at a loss in the way that we've kind of touched on. Jazz is all what many would consider the ultimate expression of music.
Yeah.
Ultimate expression of music through the artist, and art itself is just. I mean, it's what
No,
makes
yeah,
us-
jazz is meant to be played in a small, intimate space.
Wow.
You're meant to have that connection, that experience one
Not
on one.
just through an audience, through an ideal of music, or
Yes.
the history of jazz, or sometimes it's just that connection to yourself,
Yeah, exactly. The
That-
connection in yourself.
the
yeah.
connection of what some people have described as their performative self that they put out there and their knowledgeable self of what they know,
Yeah.
kind of introducing what you know of yourself to what you put out of yourself.
Yes.
And
It's really
this
strange.
is getting into weird philosophy talk. And
It's a paradox. Let's leave it there. It's a paradox. We will not tap in further.
We are getting deep into the psyche here. I
Yes.
hope I get good marks on this.
You must pay for the further. You must pay for a subscription for us to continue.
So wow, that was really
Yeah.
something. So thank you so much for sharing
Thank you
your
for
journey and
yeah.
insights with us. So it's been really something to hear your thoughts as probably the most, I would call you a prolific artist that I know.
Thank you. Thank you, Martin.
Wow, that's great to hear not your thoughts on not only jazz but art and expression and I mean even education and personal development.
No,
That's
yeah,
what you said.
100%.
That was really something. So thank you again for watching the
Yeah.
Final Jazz podcast. And of course, check out my friend Edgar at The Groove Room on Instagram.
Thank
He's
you.
really such a great guy. This whole thing would not have happened if I didn't look at that page and go, "Oh my God,
Oh
that's
my
what I need to do for
gosh.
this final."
You flatter me. Thank you, Martin. I
All right.
appreciate that.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.